A young woman was on an airplane reading her Bible when someone sat down next to her, this man, and he said, "You don't believe that stuff, do you?" She says, "What do you mean?" He said, "That book." She said, "Oh, you mean the Bible?" "Yeah, I believe it." He said, "Well, what about that story about this woman who was healed just by touching Jesus' cloak? You believe that?" She said, "Yes, I believe it." "Well, how did it happen?" "That doesn't make any sense." She says, "Well, I don't know how it happened. I'll have to ask her when I get to heaven." He said, "Well, what if she's not in heaven?" She said, "Well, then you ask him." We have an interesting story about two miracles, two sick women. Actually, one isn't a woman yet. She's only 12 years of age. They don't consider her a woman till she's 13, has her bat mitzvah. But she's sick. She's just about to die. The other woman has been sick for 12 years. One girl is 12 years old. The other been sick for 12 years. She's been sick the whole time that girl has been alive. And the sickness that she has, the hemorrhaging, makes her unclean. Meaning, if you've ever read that book, The Red Tent, meaning that she couldn't go near her family or her friends or any people. She had to stay outside the community. She was an outcast. She had to stay away from them. She couldn't touch them. If she touched them, then they would be considered unclean. To make things worse, she, of course, was unable to have any children. Now, in our day, even in our day, when women can do many other things, if a woman wants to have a child and can't, it's still a big deal. In her day, devastating. So you know the story. Jesus comes to town, and a very important person in the synagogue, in the church, this guy named Jairus, he sees Jesus, falls down at his feet, begs him, "Please come and heal my daughter." And Jesus agrees, and he's on his way. But you know, at this point, Jesus is kind of famous. People have heard about his miracles. And so there's a huge crowd, lots of people around him. He's a miracle man. The woman who has been sick for 12 years, the outcast for 12 years, she sees Jesus and has hope. She isn't supposed to even be around those people. That would be against the law. She especially isn't supposed to touch anybody, that too, against the law. But she's been hemorrhaging for 12 years. Doctors have picked and poked, tried all different kinds of things, took all of her money, all of her hope, all of her pride. But now Jesus is here, and she has hope. She isn't supposed to be near any people, especially like a crowd. Not supposed to touch anybody, but she believes. She has faith that if she touches Jesus, just touches the hem of his garment, that she would be healed. Now, I never put this together before, but she touches his garment. She steals the blessing. She steals the healing. She wasn't offered it. She just took it like a thief, like a pickpocket. Jesus didn't even see it coming. He felt it. He felt the power leaving him, which is interesting. We could talk about that. The power went out from him without his say-so. Jesus says, "Who touched me?" Now, I was wondering, how did he say that? Did he say it kind of calmly, like, "Who touched me?" Did he say it nervously, "Who touched me?" Because he wasn't in control of this power. It went out from him without his say-so. Or did he say, "Who touched me?" like angrily? We don't know. But the woman heard him say, "Who touched me?" and she was scared. She was scared maybe because of this awesome power that healed her in an instant where she had been sick for 12 years. She was healed right away. And what else with this awesome power? What could it do to her? Or was she scared because maybe she thought she used up all Jesus' magic and now he wouldn't be able to heal Jairus' daughter? Or was she scared because she was afraid he would send her away, that he would take back the healing that she stole, that she would be back sick again? What should be done to the girl? What would you have done to this woman who stole the blessing? Jesus doesn't take the blessing back, the healing. She's physically healed. He doesn't take the physical healing back. Instead, he claims her as a daughter. She has a family again. She's part of the community again. Her guilt and her shame are gone. Jesus wasn't out of magic. It's not magic. He has the power of the Son of God. He still has the healing power. He goes on and he heals Jairus' daughter. Jairus' daughter is healed in the way we would expect, right? He begs Jesus, and Jesus responds. These stories are connected through faith and miracles and the fact that they're two women who are healed. But they're different. I think we prefer the Jairus story better, where the father begs Jesus and Jesus responds. He asks and Jesus responds. The other one, she just took it. She just stole the blessing. There's a classic story about a man who steals a loaf of bread to feed his starving children. He's thrown into prison for a number of years. He comes out of prison, he is an angry, desperate man, and he steals again. But this time, the person that he stole from forgives him. And that act of forgiveness changes his life. What should be done to people who steal out of desperation? What should be done to people who take what does not belong to them out of desperation? Would you steal a loaf of bread if you had no money and your family was starving? Would you, if you were sick for 12 years. I was sick recently for about a week and I could hardly stand it. 12 years of being sick, 12 years of being an outcast. Would you steal for that healing if you had the chance? I hope you never do have to do that. I hope we never have to do that. Amen.